Hello, everyone. I'm Lauren Albandian. I am the coordinator for ISAR 2022, and that conference is coming up this year in August 25th through 29th. It's going to be held in Westminster, Colorado, which is right between Boulder and Denver. It's beautiful. It's a lovely time of the year in August. You can find all the information you need at isar2022.org, isar2022.org. And so registration is happening right now. Also, if any of you are listening to this or when you listen to this and you have a product that you want to market, ISAR also has a trade show and has booth space available. So today I'm talking with my dear friend and colleague, Lynn Bell. Known each other for quite a while now, one of my favorite people. And she is, I almost think, I do think in my mind, Lynn does not need any introduction. But for those of you who don't know who she is a psychologically based astrologer. She lives in Paris and teaches all over the world, has done conferences. She has clients all over the world. She teaches for Astrology University and MISPA, MISPA, and she formerly taught for CPA out of England. And you can find her at her website at lynnbellastrology.com. Thanks for doing this with me, Lynn. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's great to see you.
Oh, it's so great to see you. And I can't wait to get in physical space with everyone. What do you think? How are you feeling about that? How are you feeling about coming back into physical space with the astrology community? Are you excited?
Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. I miss the community, connecting with people, with ideas, seeing colleagues. It's been such a strong part of my life for decades now. And I miss that merging, exchange of ideas. And Colorado is going to be amazing at the end of August. You know, I think it's going to be a great place to meet for a conference. ISAR always does a good job.
Yeah, I'm very excited and very honored for them to have chosen me to coordinate and shepherd this conference to its conclusion. And yes, it's been a tough couple of years for everyone on the planet, and ISAR had to cancel its conferences, as did every conference really in person. And so we are full steam ahead, happening in person. So we really look forward to seeing everyone there at the conference. So Lynn, you are doing you're doing a lecture on Friday the 27th, and then you're doing a post-conference workshop on Monday. So let's talk about the Saturday lecture, which is at 2 p.m. Again, isar2022.org. You'll find everything you need there. Lynn, you're doing a lecture called The Eighth House, Alchemy of Money and Psyche. Tell me a bit about that. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, you know, a few years ago, I did a series of workshops on money. And there's particularly this whole idea of the eighth house, of where we measure our worth against the world, against other people, and how we have to navigate what other people want and what we want, and how, in a way, being blind to that limits us, and that very often our encounters giving up control of our finances or makes us learn how to really take power over our life. And for me, the eighth house has always been connected with inheritance, even if you go back to the ancient astrology. But the eighth house is such a complex place. And it's a place where we have to acknowledge that other things have power over our lives. And one of the things that has power over our lives are other people. And in the past, they had power over us because they controlled the purse strings, and everybody, I think, has been through that at some point. And it's this whole process of the ability to pull back what really matters to you and what you have to go through with others to do that I want to talk about. So it's a talk that's psychological, not a financial talk, but about how, in a way, when something's been taken from you, it's the initiation to really finding your way to what matters.
Right. And it really does come down to understanding, for me, my own worth, my own power, and with respect to a larger power, not somebody else, the limits of my own power as well.
That's right. Yeah, we can't just magic it away at any given moment, as we've all learned in the past couple of years. But this whole idea of what happens when a superior power stops us, what then happens to how we come back.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm really interested in this, bringing it back.
So what we often say in EA is that in the eighth house, we confront our limits, right? Yeah. So there is that confrontation of looking at something face to face, and there are so many layers, as you've said, and depths to the eighth house. There's much to explore, right? Yeah. All right. So go ahead.
Yeah. No. So, but it's just there's much to explore. We could just explore power and sexuality and many, many other things, but we're taking the money piece as a stream to explore this house. And if you haven't thought about it this way, it's really powerful work.
Yeah, exactly. Well done. So on Monday, the 29th, starting at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, you are doing a workshop, Unbinding Desire, how Venus gets what she wants. So tell us about that.
Well, this is one of those workshops inspired by Uranus in Taurus, because again, but of course, when I initially gave this title, I didn't expect that we'd all have to give up what we wanted for a while. And, so I was thinking about it in a different way, but I'm really interested in people seeing how their Venus works, not just, oh, my Venus attracts this to me, but really how to wake her up, how to use her, no matter what sign she's in, no matter what aspects she has. And in a way, it's, today as we're speaking, Venus is conjunct Mars. So, in a way, it's really that combination of waking up Venus to be proactive, not to just see her as this pretty thing waiting for the prince to rescue her. So.
Exactly. And I love that you said no matter what sign, no matter what house, and no matter what aspect.
That's right.
Exactly. I have a Venus that is not, doesn't have any ease aspects to it. There's nothing but angle and stress. And I've learned how to activate her. She's the ruler of my North Node. So being able to actualize that energy regardless of the dynamics, right? And not to feel like, oh gosh, I can't because Venus is whatever.
Yeah, well, there's this, some Venuses, I was thinking recently about how Venus as a morning star was considered a warrior goddess. Right. So certain Venus energies have to be proactive to be happy. They're not happy sitting around picking the petals off the flower. And other Venuses don't necessarily want it hot and heavy. They want it refined and specific. And I think there's a lot of confusion about this. For people in astrology, a lot of things we project onto people, thinking they should want this, or women should be like this, or men should be like this, or they should be like this, because obviously we're stepping out of those categories that are binary and looking at how Venus moves us forward and what gives her pleasure in life, what makes her happy, no matter who you are, as a woman, however you identify yourself, how do you draw what you want into your life?
And that's it right there. That encapsulates it. How you draw what you want into your life, but not just passively, Sometimes it does come, but I think what I'm hearing is being able to activate that energy, right?
Yeah, I think over the years, one of the big questions that I've had with clients is I'd say, well, what do you really want? And people would say, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so how can you draw what you want to you if you have no idea what it is? And I think the chart tells us what we may want, but sometimes we don't want to acknowledge that because it goes counter to all the expectations we may have been given.
Yes. Well, very good. Very good. All of you listening, these are fabulous, one fabulous lecture and a fabulous workshop. You can add workshops to your registration. If you are just passing through Denver or happen to live in the area and you can't do the whole conference, but you want to do a Monday workshop, you can do that just on its own, though we would love to see you for the whole event. So again, ISAR 2022 is happening. It's called our tagline is Joining Hearts and Minds, because that's what we are really looking forward to doing, is being in space of joining our hearts and minds with our community. And you can find information at isar2022.org. Thank you so much, Lynn, for taking the time today. As always, I know you're busy, and
Thank you, Laura.
And I look forward to seeing you in real time, in real space. All right.
Okay.
Take care.